today I've come up with a very important topic, I should say. It's about self-forgiveness. You all would have heard about, and also I've given a lot of videos on the same about how to forgive others, because we've been taking this kind of remorse and revengeful feeling about other people, and how to let go of that, all that I've already shared. And comparatively, even I should say that forgiving others is comparatively easy. When it comes to forgiving oneself, it's the most toughest thing. And I'm sure as human, we all will make some mistakes, and as human is to err. I'm sure all of you must have heard about this. So cannot be so-called perfect people. We all will make mistakes. The mistakes can be of various types also. For example, we might have hurt others unintentionally or sometimes intentionally, and also we might have done something which we are not very proud about, or we might have embarrassed ourselves, disappointed ourselves, or we would have even be failing in something, or not stood up to the expectation of how you want to become. And all these are the problems wherein you will definitely cannot forgive yourself. And many people watching this video, I'm sure, would have been suffering from this, not able to forgive oneself for all these kind of things they've done. And sometimes the mistakes can be even something which is even more dangerous also. And sometimes you would have even hurt another person's, which is very, very irreversible also. And maybe probably that person would have died because of that. And because in my counseling situation, I've heard that sometimes because of the heated argument between the son and the father died because of heart attack, and this son could not even forgive himself for that, and attributed that his death is because of his anger only. The father's death is because of his anger. And this forgiveness is very, very tough, because it will be tormenting you, and it will always keep you in a vicious cycle wherein self-loathing behavior will continue in a very toxic cycle pattern. And not only this kind of very intense situations, there are a lot other things also. Like if you're a college student, you did not get good marks, or if you're a parent, you didn't take care of your child properly, and that you're not a good mom, or for some of you it may be I'm not a good employee, or I'm not earning enough, and I've embarrassed myself, or I've hurt them. And because of all these things, you may be already loathing, and the self-loathing is the most toxic and dangerous things. And you may not know this kind of impact it has on our mental health and our emotional health, and it can even lead to stress, depression and anxiety, and our relationships also suffer because of you're not able to forgive yourself. Sometimes even between couples there may be case of infidelity or whatever it may be, and even your partner must have forgiven you, but you were not able to let go of that and forgive yourself. So when I use this word, how to forgive yourself, you also would have heard in our own spiritual way possible. In Hinduism, Christianity, we have in Christianity called confession, wherein we say all our sins and we just want to accept and let go of those sins. And even in Hinduism, we have that we need to purify our soul by going and taking a dip in a holy river possible, so that I can just let go of all the sins I've done. So in all these ways, in a spiritual way possible, we are having this thing. But one thing we all forget is that we are not compassionate about our own selves. Maybe the similar mistake or the same mistake even your friend has done, but then you are able to just let go if he is late to some party or something, and maybe you cannot forgive yourself for that, but then you can just forgive your friends, it's okay. But then the same kind of kindness and love are we giving to ourselves? This is a point where we talk about self-compassion, the similar kind of empathy and kindness what you show to other people, and what kind of expectations of behavior you have towards other people. Do you do the same thing to yourself, or are you beating up yourself? I've seen a lot of people in my friend circle, as well as in my clinical experience. Many of them are actually beating up themselves so hard. And first you should understand the psychology of why we are not able to forgive ourselves. Because when we deviate from our morals and values, what happens is that we have one emotion, which is a very difficult emotion per se. It's called guilt. And even more intense is shame. And guilt and shame are the two most important emotions, very, very difficult to process. And when we don't, live up to the expectations of our own selves, like our more moral values also, and we feel something like, I'm very bad, I'm very toxic. And many of you may be having this underlying current of feeling like, I'm a bad person. So what happens is, just because you feel that you're bad, and your mind actually start this self-critic in a very vicious cycle and keeps talking negative about yourself day by day. And subconsciously this happens, you're not even aware of the same. And why this is happening, why our body and mind is reacting this way, is because of this self-critic. Actually the mind thinks that you will not do the mistake again. But the thing is, it has gone wrong, it is functioning, it's malfunctioning, because whenever we are having this anxiety also, generally it's fine to get anxious and fear, but when it goes to the toxic cycle, then it becomes an anxiety disorder. Similarly, even in forgiveness also, when we do a mistake, the mind keeps telling you, you've done a mistake, don't do that, you've done a mistake, you're very bad and all this. Okay, fine, I can listen to that, come on, I can understand and can go on with it, that's fine, move on. But then sometimes we just get into that vicious cycle of the self-critic and not aware of the fact and thinking that this kind of keeping and beating up again and again, you will not do that act, but that is actually not helping at all. And actually it is detrimental. What really happens is when you start believing that you are very villainous and bad and wicked, and we think that, okay, fine, then now I can do bad things, but already I'm a bad person. So the thing is, it's very even dangerous, I should say. At any point in life, at whatever age you are when you're listening to this video, 60, 70 or 30, 40, whatever time you're in your life, it's even now you can let go of whatever you have done and turn to a new leaf and make sure that you don't do it again. Because our mind is only telling you shouldn't do it again, but there are certain steps which we should follow so that you can be completely be patient with yourself and kind with yourself and be without any self-doubt. You can be very much assured that I will not do this mistake again. So how do we do that? First of all, we should understand one thing that is called perfectionism. And many people who cannot forgive themselves are perfectionists as well. Because please don't believe in this perfectionism, it doesn't exist. And we all make mistakes and it's fine. And one more mistake we do is, just because we did one wrongdoing or certain things, we think I am bad, our self is bad. I am like, I hate myself, which is a very strong word. It's not about the self, it is about the certain aspect of a behavior which is wrong. So one behavior or certain aspects of personality may be wrong. Maybe I'm coming late, that is wrong. But maybe I said some hateful words to others, that is wrong. But doesn't mean that Chitra is bad or she is completely a wicked person. No, that's not true. But we just then generalize things. We keep on generalizing things. So that is where it becomes a vicious cycle of making us believe that I'm bad, and we stay in that cycle, which is very, very, very detrimental to our mental health, as I said earlier. So the thing is, how do we come out of this cycle? The number one thing is you need to accept the guilt and shame. These emotions are there and you just have to take up that accountability and responsibility. Yes, I made these mistakes, fine. I've done this wrongdoings, whatever. So this is the first step for acceptance, because we are just suppressing that emotion for a very long time. We just need to accept it. And what's the next step? Next step is, after accepting, nothing but to release it. We just have to release these emotions and let go. And please understand, you should not stuck in the same station. Oh, I missed the station and still remain in the station. There are too many other stations you shouldn't miss. So you just have to move on and release the pain, and willing to release the pain by saying certain affirmations will really help. I deserve love and affection, and also I'm ready to let go of my perfectionism. I'm willing to forgive myself, and I'm willing to release my past. These kind of affirmations will help you to release your toxic and negative feelings, and you will be ready to move on. And the next step is, you can make some amendments if possible. Like, let's say there is something which is in the past, I can go and correct it. I can do something about it. In that case, you can definitely make some amendments by asking, sorry, I've done this, or telling your own child, or telling your own manager, sorry, I disrespected you, or I hurt you, and it's nothing wrong about it. So you can make amendments, but there are certain mistakes and you can't really go back and change the time. The problem with these people is they just live in the past. They just keep on rewinding the past. So it's when you can't change the past, first of all, you need to accept that and acknowledge that feeling and then let go of it. So the last step, very important step, is that just because why your mind is not letting you go is because it's afraid that you will do the mistake again. So you should take steps and to see, actually, look into the problem, why this has happened and what is the root cause of it, what is it telling me. One example, I think I can clear this thing. See, let's say her mother wants to take care of her 2 children as well as do the job, too many things on the table, and she feels ashamed and feel guilty that I'm not able to do this, I'm not able to live up to the standards. And then I'm sure when you're going to let go of these things and take the 4th step of renewal, you'll be finding it difficult, that people are not going to be happy with you, they're going to be really angry with you, and all that is going to happen. But that's fine. At least you need to stop this vicious cycle by telling, it's okay, fine, I'm not able to do this work, I'm just willing to say I can't do this and say no to that. And not having an imperfectionistic expectation or unrealistic expectations on your own self, which is very, very wrong. You need to be very kind. What kind of expectation I'm going to have on other people, the same thing only I can also do to me. Why me? Why you have to just make yourself suffer and beat up yourself? And this case, you need to make sure and tell your mind that I'm not going to repeat this mistake. I've actually understood and learned a lesson. Underline this word. This is very important. Just the psychology of mind is that nothing but the guilt and shame is only telling you, especially guilt is telling you, don't do the mistake, learn your lessons. And if you could tell and acknowledge that feeling and release it and make amendments and tell yourself, your mind very clearly that I am not going to do this mistake. I've learned a lesson, and I know I found out another means to make sure this, or reduce expectation, or why you got disappointed, whatever. You just have to analyze the kind of mistake and make sure you give some solution to the problem so that you don't do that mistake. Let's say you deviated your moral standard by doing infidelity or some extramarital affair. Even in that case, you cannot forgive yourself. Whatever happened has happened, but then you should tell yourself, I'll never ever do it. Find out the root cause, why I did it, fix it, and never do it again. That's the only way you promise yourself that I can trust you. And now that you've turned to a new leaf, you're a very good person and nothing to forgive yourself about. And then again, you can do some mistakes, and then again a lesson to be learned. But the thing is, don't do the same mistakes again and again, and then it's very tough to let go of it, and your mind will like trap you again in this self-loathing cycle. I hope this video is made you clear, because I've seen a lot of people suffering in the whirl of self-loathing and not able to come out of this. So this should be a beginning for you to start processing all your emotions, and if it's not possible, you need to also seek counseling and psychotherapy to deal with your childhood traumas, wherein why you're not able to handle this guilt and shame, or are you able to release it yourself? All that you need to retrospect and introspect and think about yourself, and it's not that tough. Even this is the moment for you to just forgive and come out as a clean person. But then again, it's going to be a process, and you just have to be patient and follow these things. So self-forgiveness is most important thing. It's going to be very important for your relationship, as well as to maintain your good physical and mental health as well. And you can get rid of your anxiety, depression, and all the negative feelings. And you just have to tell yourself, I'm willing to let go of all this. And you have to, the big wholeheartedly, you just have to forgive yourself. I hope this video will allow you to enjoy the life to the fullest and not to live in your own cage. And if you find it useful, please share it to other people and let them also come out of this, because life is such a great gift and we all deserve to enjoy it to the utmost. So I'll catch up in another video. Until then, take care. Bye.
Thanks for watching, and do not forget to subscribe videos.